Postseason football often comes down to a battle of quarterbacks. And this wild card playoff matched the Chargers' Drew Brees against the Jets' Chad Pennington. Now, Brees was coming off a great regular season. 27 touchdown passes, only 7 interceptions. He was voted NFL Comeback Player of the Year. Pennington, meanwhile, was criticized in New York as a quarterback who came up short in big games. A bruised shoulder raised questions about his ability to throw the long ball. But on a rare, rainy night in San Diego, Chad Pennington had the chance to answer those questions and answer his critics at the same time.
Gray skies in San Diego. As unexpected as the home team playing a football game in January.
It never rains in Southern California until tonight. Jets and the Chargers, their AFC wildcard game from sunny San Diego, minus the sun.
You got the giant slip and slide out here.
Go hit it,
Dealman, hit it.
Do it.
2 straight days of rain could not dampen the spirits of the San Diego Chargers, who were making their first appearance in the playoffs since 1995.
Here they come!
Hey, man, we got here together, and we're going to finish and leave here together. We need to play on one accord, man. Have my back, I got your back. Everybody take care of each other.
Nobody had expected the Chargers to turn their record over from 4-12 to 12-4. One season had washed away a decade of futility and flooded the team with memories of the glory years.
Just like the 1980s with Dan Fouts and Air Cordial. Back. Chargers are back.
For the New York Jets, the end of the regular season was a washout. They lost 3 of their last 4 games and just slipped into the playoffs.
Don't be mad at the Jets.
In the postseason, hope springs eternal. The Jets may have come in under the radar, but they did find their way to San Diego. It was much more difficult to navigate the tunnels of Qualcomm Stadium and find the field. If the Jets took the back roads to the playoffs, the Chargers cruised down Main Street, even if no one saw them coming. None of their games were in prime time, so their accomplishments went largely unnoticed.
Let me tell you something. You got to play with your heart. You got to play with your emotions. You got to go out there and smack some skulls, boys and girls. That's what it comes down to. It's playoff time.
Woo! Show the world what kind of football team we are in San Diego, fellas. Be who we are. We're a dominant football team on the line of scrimmage. Let's go. Line on 3. 1, 2, 3. Line!
Hours before kickoff, Marty Schottenheimer was named Coach of the Year. His team's 8-game turnaround is tied for the second biggest in NFL history. But history has a way of haunting Schottenheimer in the playoffs, where his all-time record stood at 5-11.
When it gets to the tournament, upsets happen and all kinds of weird stuff happens. But the Chargers are a better football team. The Chargers are a home field football team. The Chargers are going to find a way to win this game. And the crowd, oh my goodness, have you heard a crowd like this in years? I don't think so.
We about to put on the show, baby. We about to put on the show. Listen to this crowd, baby. Woo! Let's go.
All eyes were on the Chargers, playing their biggest game in a decade. The Jets were hoping to fly in under the radar and steal a victory from the home team.
for as long as it takes. Let's go.
Let's go, baby.
Chargers on 3. 1, 2, 3, Chargers.
Go fast, go fast. Go fast, y'all.
And the rain has begun to fall. We'll see what effect that has on this evening's game.
Under defensive coordinator Wade Phillips, the Chargers changed from a 4-3 defense that couldn't stop the run to a 3-4 unit that regularly stuffs the run and turns most teams one-dimensional. Their strategy on Saturday was no different. Stop the NFL's regular season rushing champion, Curtis Martin. The Chargers dared the Jets to pass, convinced Chad Pennington could not make all the throws with an injured shoulder. Although Pennington was not throwing fastballs, he coolly converted 2 third-and-longs on the Jets' opening possession.
Pennington takes the snap, drops to throw, looks left, fires, seam left, caught, McCairns, another Jet first down. And Chad Pennington on both of the third down conversions has thrown the ball very well on the first drive.
Lamont Jordan, number 34, spelled Curtis Martin, and he pushed the Jets into scoring range. Three plays later, the Jets came up 1 yard short, and Doug Bryant came on to attempt a field goal.
33-yard field goal attempt from the right hash to give the Jets the early lead. In the rain here at Qualcomm, the snap good, the spot good, the kick on the way. It is no good. He missed it to the right.
Chargers stop the Jets in their first possession.
Good job on the wheel route. All right, just watch that guy. Be alert if 34's in there. They like to get him the ball because he's a bigger guy. All right, just know the personnel.
Look where you're located. You're already favored over there. That's a bad deal. Get right here so you won't be so late on that.
The only thing is finish. Finish every play, okay? If you're getting the ball in the second level, all right, stay on those guys full time now.
Staying on one's feet was the hard part, especially in soggy conditions. San Diego made the spectacular look routine, and the routine looked like an adventure. Both teams struggled with their footing in a scoreless first quarter.
It's a flea flicker. Handoff. Curtis back to Chad. Fires over the middle. Incomplete. McCairns was wide open at the 35-yard line, and he slipped and fell.
Hey, big boy can't hold up. We too big. We too strong for him. Just keep pounding it ahead. If they're playing the same group every down, whether it's third down, second down, or first down, you need to wear them down.
Now, you want to see the Chargers capture and control the line of scrimmage and let LT take this game over.
The Chargers got on track behind the running of LaDainian Tomlinson, who carried 8 times on an 88-yard drive.
LT looks like he might be a nice little mutter.
Yeah.
Kind of slippery, isn't he?
He's funky.
Oh, yeah.
The Jets focused in on Tomlinson and number 85, Antonio Gates. Drew Brees found tight end Justin Peele for 2 completions and 1 headache.
Justin Peele may have been shaken up on that play as he came down very awkwardly on his right shoulder and really the side of his head. But this has been a pretty efficient San Diego march from their own 12-yard line.
After holding the ball for over 8 minutes, the Chargers took their shot.
2nd and 5 at the Jet 26. Breeze, play action. Steps up, fires deep towards the end zone for McCardell. It's caught. Is he in? Did he do the ballet routine? No, he did not have control. It's an incomplete pass. McCardell thought it was a touchdown, and he is going to, I'm sure, want Marty Schottenheimer to challenge this ruling.
Oh, and McCardell was just wide spanking open.
Excellent job of getting both feet down.
And I believe this is a touchdown.
Both feet were down.
the touchdown. All right. McCardell giving credit for an excellent touchdown reception.
So glad to have you in the house, Keith.
All day, all right? Keep busting their ass like you do it. I love it, guys.
7-0. They cash in. They have the lead.
And the Chargers this year, 10-1 when they score first. The Jets, when they don't score first, 2-4.
Let's go. Hey, let's keep our tempo.
In the regular season, San Diego allowed only 2 running backs to rush for 100 yards. Curtis Martin was one of them. But in this wild card matchup, he was held to just 66.
I don't know that that's a smart thing to do against this Charger football team who has excellent speed and veteran linebackers is to run wide.
Against the NFL's third-best run defense, the Jets took to the air. But dinks and dunks weren't enough, and the drive stalled.
Those little dump passes, instead of picking you up 19 yards, are only going to pick you up about 3 or 4 yards when you get into the red zone. And here comes the crowd at Qualcomm. They are on their feet, waving their rally towels and making a lot of noise.
On 3rd and 9, the Chargers made a stand.
Back up, Pennington. Chase sack, Foley. Foley's got him down at the 39-yard line.
Give a half a sack to Phillips. Give a half to Steve Foley. Chargers drop it into a zone and speed kills off the end. Both of the guys flying in and taking Pennington down for the sack.
Steve Foley, who had led the team in sacks this past year with 10, was the first to arrive.
While New York's offense was bogging down, San Diego was eager to get moving.
We just beat it out. There's holes in there. Let's run it. I don't care if they walk up in the hole. That little 51 can't handle me. He's a little boy. He's a little boy. He's 210 pounds. I'll kill that little boy, man. The world's greatest. Let me go at him.
12-year veteran Lorenzo Neal had plenty of bark. But it was rookie Jonathan Vilma who had the bite, leading the Jets with 13 total tackles and 1 sack.
Blitzing up the middle, and the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year brings down Breeze at the 7-yard line.
With 5 minutes remaining in the second quarter, the Chargers were forced to punt.
In 3 yards deep in the end zone. Pressure, but Cyphers gets it off, and it's a high punt.
Marty Schottenheimer thought his kicker had been roughed, but replay showed he was untouched.
There's a penalty marker thrown.
And Marty Schottenheimer is going to get flagged for being 10 yards on the field. He was between the 10 and the 20-yard line while the ball was in the air. But Marty better get off the field, coach of the year or not. He's out there. I mean, you can't leave the coaching box, which is the 30-yard line. Come on, Marty.
Schottenheimer maintained that a roughing the kicker penalty should have been called. But it was San Diego's head coach who was penalized 15 yards for unsportsmanlike conduct.
And how about field position? The Jets' average starting drive on their 35-yard line, the Chargers on their own 17. Hidden yardage.
All right, we got to go back out there. We got to go back out there. Hey, make sure you're going to run with that vertical threat. If you see number 2 or number 1 come back inside. I know, I didn't see it.
It's third and 8, so I played out. If you want me to go to jam, I'll jam.
No, I don't want him to jam. I want you to get a little bit more depth, right? Have vision. If you can see, you got to come on.
You got that bunch. All you need to do is, you got 3 up to the center. Just keep backing up. Somebody cross your face, you take the guy across your face. All right? Keep backing up, play it looser, play it at the stick. All right? Play it at the stick. You'll be fine.
The Chargers outgained the Jets 2-1 in the second quarter, but New York was winning the battle for field position.
And New York is in the red zone.
Justin McCarron's coming up big in the first half.
The safeties have got to hug up and pay attention to the crossing route.
If you're inside the red zone, you can't settle for a field goal. You need to put the 6 points on the scoreboard.
Back to throw. Dumps it left. Beck makes the catch at the 15. He's all alone. 10, 5, touchdown.
I see you. I see you. I see you.
Heart of the Lions.
San Diego's going to come with an all-out blitz. They're bringing the kitchen sink.
And Drayton Florence, who looked like he bit on the inside, tried to get to the outside, flat his responsibility, and Beck was just wide open.
The Jets do indeed up a desperately needed touchdown. And that has to feel good for Anthony Beck as well, because Anthony did not have a very productive season.
Hold on, dog. You gotta work on that dance floor. That celebration, dog. What the hell is that?
Set it up, Chris! We can come back and stay formation and run Poco out of it. Yeah. You know, we got T-Poco and we can run Y-Poco.
You can run anything on that guy.
Yeah.
Hey, 45.
You ready for T-Poco? He was inside of Bake, so you have the corner.
With the score tied at 7, San Diego needed to start playing like the AFC West champions they were.
Drew Brees fires it. McCardell makes the catch at the sideline.
You got to throw it on the edge.
Shotgun formation. Brees cocks and fires authoritatively and has a receiver at the sideline, Parker, and that should be first down.
McCardell and Parker against these corners all day long if you can protect the passer. Got to work it on the edge.
Jets blitz, pumps right, now looks back to the left, over the middle. Gates makes the catch.
And how good is Drew Brees? 128 yards, a touchdown, no interceptions. That's Pro Bowl-like.
All-Pro Drew Brees may be headed to balmy Hawaii, but it was the Jets who turned the heat up on the Chargers quarterback.
Brees, play action, looking left, now back to the right, fires over the middle, tip ball, intercepted. Reggie Tongue has it. He runs to his left to the 35. Reggie Tongue with the game's first turnover. He's tackled by Drew Brees, and the Jets back in business.
This time they found McCardell, but there was resistance.
Eric Coleman just playing McCardell on the crossing route.
In a two-deep zone, that means both safeties playing in the middle of the field. The cutoff is coming in by McCardell. Eric Coleman does a great job tipping it up in the air. Reggie Tongue right there to make the interception. And the Jets, 3 timeouts left, 126. Great field position.
Fortunately for San Diego, New York couldn't move the chains, and the Jets went 3 and out just before halftime.
Draw play give, right off right guard, and he stopped at the 47-yard line.
Jamal Williams. Manster. Half man, half monster.
What we gonna do, Marty?
Hey, Clint.
What we gonna do, Marty?
With the score still knotted at 7, the Chargers had plenty of questions, but only had 30 minutes to find answers.
Network.
You out the box? Who getting you? Who getting you?
When they run the counters and shit, so it's the guy pulling that's getting to me on the counters.
What they doing? They messed up Ed, and I take them 2. I can take up 2.
New York's defense began the second half the same way they ended the first, by forcing a 3 and out.
LT first, now to Parker. Brees out blocking, 25 to the 26-yard line.
What a stud. The big cat, Sean Ellis, number 92. What a play.
That's what we got to do on this cover 1 stuff. And keep on hitting us with these slants, all right? So every now and then, line up inside so they won't check into those slants, all right? Especially the flow side. He likes going to his right now. He likes going to, all right? So you want to make sure that you're inside, and then every now and then on forward play outside, tell the safety to look for you, all right? Safety will help you out on the slants.
Give yourself a little more room.
What that is right there?
On that land.
Oh, okay. Give me some.
See how it's cloudy?
Yeah.
The Jets moved the ball with 2 quick slant passes to Justin McCarron.
On first down, Pennington to throw. Slant left, caught by McCarron. Out across the 35-yard line.
Justin McCarron so valuable tonight, shaking bacon and a perfect pass by Chad.
I mean, you got to start jumping those receivers on both sides, the ins and the outs, and force him to beat you over the top. Because in my opinion, he just can't, not with this bad win.
After softening the Chargers up with slants, Pennington and the Jets tested San Diego's defense deep.
Pennington, play action, steps up in the pocket, wants the bomb, down the middle, towards the end zone for Moss. Touchdown! Santana Moss beats the Chargers deep. A 47-yard touchdown strike from Chad Pennington.
And it was a strike as Santana Moss just runs by Quentin Chamber to the inside and gets over the top of Jerry Wilson.
Question Chad Pennington's arm strength, if you will, but you can't throw it any better. That ball traveled about 55 to 60 yards in the air.
Jets had put the game on Pennington's injured shoulder. And at 47 yards, he had delivered his longest touchdown pass of the season.
And I ain't you sitting there, you about to damn bull. Wait a minute, play, boy. Wait a minute, play. It hit my fingertip.
They ain't good position. They ain't got good set. We just got to come up with the football, all right? They're going to do that sucker again. They got to, all right? We just got to stay in position.
Don't wait for it.
I saw Quentin in front of him. He undercut it.
You got to go for the ball. You know what I'm saying? Go for the ball. Don't wait for it. He was in good position. He was like this.
Yeah, but go for it. Look, they made a play. We didn't make the play. They made the play. There's a lot more plays to be made tonight. Let's keep looking forward. Let's go, Jerry.
The Chargers trailed at home for the first time in nearly 4 months. But with just under a half left, they still had time to catch up.
Tonight, NFL Total Access, Playoff Edition at 10. Playbook at 11:30. NFL Network, Game of the Week, Jets, Chargers at 12 on NFL.
Touchdown strike. The Jets defense needs to stop this Charger offense.
Wait a minute, play, boy.
On their next possession, the Chargers faced a 4th and inches from their own 30-yard line.
They're going to go for it.
I think this is the right decision. If you're Marty Schottenheimer in a playoff game, you can't punt on 4th down and an inch.
They can shut them down right here.
4th down and an inch. Drew Brees calling signals. The Jets jump into the neutral zone. Dwayne Robertson jumped off sides.
Wow.
This will give the Chargers a free 1st down.
Dwayne Robertson's penalty was a microcosm of the Jets' up-and-down season. A big gaffe followed by a great play.
On 1st and 10, handoff Tomlinson, hit in the backfield by Robertson and dropped for a 3-yard loss. Well, there, Dwayne Robertson makes up for the prior mistake. And Marty, the defense is starting to play football.
Yes, sir. Dwayne all the way in the backfield, almost took the handoff.
New York Jet defensive line has dominated this Charger offensive line.
They have.
They are out physical at us.
They're playing harder than us, that's all. Gotta pick it up.
These whole time I was playing south.
Come on now, offense. Let's go. Let's go, offensive line.
You hear me, big fella? You playing your ass off, boy. You need to play harder.
Clinging to a 7-point lead, the Jets were determined to keep the chains and the clock moving.
With all this momentum, Marty, you are not looking for a 3 downs and out.
So they turned to Curtis Martin.
Back to throw Pennington, dumps it right, caught by Martin at the 45. He's at the 50, into Chargers territory at the 40, left side 31, before he's brought down at the 30-yard line, and he just got lost in traffic at midfield and picked up 23 yards.
Jets are on their game.
Martin's catch and run set up a scoring opportunity.
And the Jets at least get themselves into what is a very realistic field goal position for Doug Bryan with 1 minute and 50 seconds to go.
From 42 yards out, Doug Bryan didn't strike gold, but fluorescent yellow.
It has plenty of leg, and it hits the upright and falls through. It's good.
It hits the right upright.
And then comes over. A seeing eye field goal.
And Doug Bryan with a look of disbelief, shaking his head, as is Herm Edwards on the Jets sideline. The Jets lead 17-7. Whoa.
We're going to watch the 3rd quarter run out before the Chargers run another play.
Hey, you got a 2-score lead, okay? You hold it with score a touchdown, the next guy's coming back. Good poise in the huddle. Nice poise.
Keep your poise now, okay?
I got my poise. Make sure we know what the routes are going. Stay up top, make them dump the ball.
Drew Brees, 2004's Comeback Player of the Year, would now have to lead a 4th quarter comeback.
You've played a very solid football game for 3 quarters. You got to win it here in the 4th.
A young team. They have not been in the playoffs for 10 years. Drew Brees has never played in a playoff game, and the Jet defense has them bottled up so far here in the 2nd half.
Brees began to move the bolts.
Play action. Brees looks left, fires sideline left. The pass is caught. What a pass by Brees.
Against the Jets starting 11, he moved the Chargers with ease. Against the Jets starting 10, he did not fare as well.
It's 10 of them. Oh, we got 10 guys.
Breeze, play action. Steps up in the pocket, has time, fires back in the end zone for Parker, incomplete. Threw it over his head as Parker tried to split in between the Jet coverage and had an alley into the back of the end zone.
The alley Breeze tried to exploit was the result of the Jets having only 10 men on the field. On the next play, the defense made substitutions, but again, were one player short. Still, the Chargers failed to capitalize, and their drive came to a halt.
That one play a while ago, we had 10 people on. I was supposed to be out there. Hey, have me be ready. You got it? Sub, Buffalo, everybody right here.
The Jet defense bends, Marty, but they do not break. And here comes Nate Kading on, the rookie from Iowa, to attempt a very important 36-yard field goal.
Kading's kick is on the way, and it is in.
Oh, he just eats it.
Not by much, but he got it in.
It was hooking, and he just eats it inside the left upright.
Keep playing like you're playing. Make them kick field goal. Make them kick field goal.
Despite the aid of a 12-men on the field penalty, the Jets' next drive stalled at the San Diego 33, leaving a tough decision.
Now, do you go for a field goal?
Boy, that's a long field goal right there.
Herm Edwards decided against a 50-yard field goal attempt and punted the ball back to the Chargers with 4:46 remaining.
Oh, no, we're mixing it. We just got to keep going here.
We're going to go with a four-man rush right now. You got to run a couple games. You got to change it up.
We're going to have to hurry this up. Just follow my lead. Just follow my lead.
It all comes down to this. 4:46 to go in the fourth quarter. The Chargers trailing by 7.
Everybody needs to take a deep breath.
With the season on the line for both of these teams.
Breeze began to look for the man he found more than any other in 2004, tight end Antonio Gates.
Chargers, their 35-yard line. Clock stopped, 3:30 to play. Passing formation, multiple wides. Breeze looks to throw. Knocks it right, goes the ball. Caught by Antonio Gates. Looks to tackle. Gates at the 40.
Oh, Antonio Gates got loose.
35, 30, 25, 21-yard line. Antonio Gates. 44-yard pass play to Gates for Breeze.
The last 23 was because of a missed tackle. McGraw misses him. Derek Strait misses him.
Man-to-man coverage for the first time in, I don't know, maybe in this game.
Loose right slot, 30 paint. You may need to get out of it.
Got to get home. Contain the edge.
And the Jets are on their heels, and their hands are on their hips. The big guys up front. And anytime the big guys have their hands on their hips, they're gassed.
LaDainian Tomlinson was not running on empty.
Delayed handoff up the middle. Tomlinson at the 20. He's down to the 15. Running down to the 10-yard line and brought down at the 9.
He ran into the umpire. If he doesn't run into the umpire, he scores.
The official, let's give him credit, number 96, for making the stop.
And this might take us all the way down to the 2-minute warning.
All 4 downs. 2 timeouts.
4 plays, that's it, tell him. Start with the first one. Don't tell him right now. You got 4 plays.
Skip. Jack right opposite. Back 4 quarterback draw.
First down, goal to go. San Diego at the Jet 9-yard line.
The season has come down to this, 9 yards away from tying this game.
Second down, goal from the 8-yard line. 3 wide receivers, and Breeze under center has the snap, retreats to throw. Quarterback draw at the 5. Hit down to the 2-yard line. Tapped out of the end zone, nailed at the 2 on a quarterback draw. Drew Brees.
Chargers call timeout with 1 minute, 11 seconds to go.
Hey! Key the ball! Hey! Key the ball!
Okay, here's what we got.
Personnel.
All right, we go 22.
Power ball! Hey! Power play! Power! Power! Run!
This is some football game. I'll tell you, no matter what the outcome is, these are 2 teams that have played a very physical, extremely intense game. Here we go. 1:11 remaining. 2 tight ends. Power play! Handoff Tomlinson, running left, spinning at the 3. Not a chance. Not even close. He lost a couple of yards.
Big stop, D! Big stop!
And it's going to come down to 4th down and goal at about the 2.
One and we're done.
4th and goal.
One and it's done.
This is amazing drama here at Qualcomm Stadium in San Diego. It is 4th and goal, Chargers at the Jet 3-yard line.
Give me base. Give me base. Give me base. Base.
4th down and goal from the 3.
21 weeks. And it comes down to this.
What's the look? They wanted it this way.
4th and goal. Tomlinson motions right. Breeze takes the snap, drops back, looking right, looking in the back of the end zone, escaping the rush, throws it up for grabs. It's allowed in the end zone. Knocked down. And there's a flag back at the 25-yard line.
And Breeze was roughed. The game was over and Breeze was roughed.
Wow.
What a mistake by the New York Jets. Unbelievable. The game was over. The season was over. The dream had ended. But the Jets, one of the most stupid plays I've ever seen in my life.
Thank you.
The Jets can't believe it.
Roughing the passer.
Wow.
It's going to be on Eric Barton.
And he did. He threw an elbow into the head of Drew Brees. It's a good call. That is amazing.
With 16 seconds left, the Chargers were still alive.
Where's this Charger crowd? Let's go. Let's get these towels waving. Been waiting 9 years and 4 days for them.
Strike, they're throwing it to the tight end. They're throwing it to the tight end.
Gatesy, where are you, Gatesy?
Breeze back, pressure. Fires the end zone. Touchdown, Gates! Touchdown, Chargers! Antonio Gates!
The Chargers live to find another down, and they make the Jets win.
And Drew Brees finds the guy that he's found all year long, Antonio Gates, for the touchdown.
Antonio Gates wide open in the end zone on play action. Drew Brees, the best fourth-quarter passer in the entire National Football League, has brought his team back from the dead.
They are an extra point away from tying the game and forcing overtime, a game that was over only a moment ago. And we appear headed to overtime. And the Jets now are in a position where they will be forced to play overtime. And it could come down to the toss of the coin.
The Chargers not only had momentum, they now had the ball.
Here's what I like about winning the toss. The Jets, they were huffing and puffing. They're stuck in reverse, and now you turn around and you get them right back on the field.
I don't know how the Jets now are going to be able to regroup.
For San Diego to press its advantage, they had to impose their will on the weary Jets. New York's defense faced its task with stoic resolve.
So the defense will have to get a stop.
A 3-and-out was proof that New York had plenty of fortitude. But in overtime, fortitude isn't enough. Sudden death means points are paramount. New York's offense had to move. If not to actually score, then to at least give their defense a chance to rest. They didn't manage that.
Drop, Pennington, pressure, sack!
Defense comes up and makes the stop in overtime.
Ace right pepper, ace left salt.
Twins right, ace left salt.
Yeah. All right. Double count it. So it's coming. Stand up.
Oh, this is like a heavyweight fight. Yeah, it is. This team having the other team on the ropes. Just two heavyweights fighting for the world championship. Just can't seem to knock the other one out.
Unable to land a haymaker, the Chargers started their second overtime drive counterpunching with short, accurate passes.
Breeze retreats
Chargers fortunate enough to kick a field goal to win this one. The Jets have got to be asking themselves, how did this slip away?
It was slipping away, 5 yards at a time, and New York seemed powerless to stop it.
Give it LT outside, 30, trying to get the corner, turns the corner to 25, and then is broke down.
The Jets had trouble catching LaDainian Tomlinson, partly because fatigue had finally caught them.
The Jets in disbelief, the defense, their hands and their hips. They've left it all out there. I'm telling you, New York is gassed.
New York was reeling, but San Diego suddenly stopped passing.
Storm, Jack Wright, slot, that match, Martin. 23. Make sure you get an illegal formation.
On 2 successive plays, San Diego ran Tomlinson for -1 yard.
Breeze hands it to LT. Doesn't find much room to run. They're not doing much in the way of getting extra yardage.
No, and I think 3rd and 10. I wouldn't mind a high percentage pass somewhere, even if you gain another 5 or 6 yards. Because right now, you're looking at about a 41-yard field goal.
Despite the length of the impending field goal, San Diego ran a 3rd straight time. They gained a single yard.
Right side to the 21-yard line, maybe. Brings up 4th down and brings on Nate Kading for the win.
Here comes the rookie, Nate Kading, to try and win it in overtime in what would end the Jets season in as heartbreaking a fashion as the franchise has ever experienced.
There was little New York could do, but they did what they could.
And now the Jets will call timeout. I'm not sure that calling that timeout would make a whole heck of a lot of difference to a field goal kicker. But I guess I can understand the Jets thought in doing so with a rookie kicker. Maybe there's a small chink in the armor. There is some mist falling here, but just enough to wet the field once again, which might make the footing a bit treacherous. From the right hash, 40 yards away to win it in overtime for the Chargers. Snap, placement, kick on the way, towards the uprights. It is no good! He missed it wide right! No good! And the Jets have new life!
Didn't think it could end like this, did you?
Yeah, I did. This time I did. Now, if you're the Chargers, you got to hang in amid the disappointment. And just find a way to win. Find a way to win.
Agony and ecstasy, separated by less than 2 feet. The Jets had been granted a reprieve, but work remained. The game was still tied, and they would play until someone scored.
Game of the week.
Don't do this! Another chance! Let's go! We gotta close the door! We gotta slam the mother door in their face! Let's go!
And now again, the defense is put to task.
Resiliency, the ability to overcome disappointment and do the job at hand. San Diego had to hunker down and focus.
And now if you're Chad Pennington, try to pick up a big piece of real estate before the Chargers can get themselves back together.
1st and 10, Jets at their own 30.
Drained and demoralized, San Diego was vulnerable, and Chad Pennington knew it.
Pennington takes the snap, play action, steps up, looks right, fires right sideline. The pass, it is a completion, and a Jet 1st down. So the Jets have it in San Diego territory. And they are only probably about 20 yards away from giving Doug Bryan a very good shot to win it in overtime.
The season's on the line.
It is a new day, and this has become a new game for the New York Jets. Back to throw Pennington. Has time, fires left sideline. Justin McCairns makes the catch. Inbounds at the 34-yard line. That is good for a Jet 1st down.
And what a pass by Chad over one defender.
Suddenly, the Jets looked sharp and sure. And with confidence came boldness. New York attacked.
Pennington gives for Lamont Jordan, running left. Turns the corner. He's at the 30, the 25, the 20. Out of bounds at the 15-yard line.
by Gerald Soule. He comes around the corner. He's going to take out Clinton Hart, the strong safety. That allows Lamont to turn the corner. Great block. Wow.
And now the Jets clearly in field goal position at the 15-yard line.
I promise, they should kick it right now. Give me another damn kick.
That's it, man.
Kick that thing right now.
If I had one going ball, man, I'd been balling by now.
You told me go kick it on third down.
Is it?
Yeah, he said he go kick it on third.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Yeah.
Kick this again, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I run maximum one more play. I run off tackle left. I put it in between the hash marks, and I kick the field goal on third down.
And get out of here.
The Jets ground out 5 more yards to make the field goal attempt as short as possible.
And here comes the field goal unit.
Ouch. Boy, you got to hand it to the Jets, boy. Just like the Chargers, great resolve. Never say die.
The emotion swings in this game have been incredible. This is a 28-yard field goal from just inside the right hash. The snap, the placement, the kick, on the way. Good! And the Jets win it in overtime. Danny Green's sideline explodes. What would have been maybe the most crushing loss in the history of the franchise turns into an inspiring overtime win where the Jets win it 20-17, and they advance to the divisional round of the playoffs.
Good luck, y'all. Great game.
The better the season, the more bitter its end. Stunned and staggered, San Diego's exit was cruelly quick. But the playoffs are merciless, making each victory something to savor.
Hey, man, let me tell you something. I'm proud of you. That's my first win as a head coach and our staff on the road in a playoff game. And that's important, guys. It's very, very important. And like I said, man, stay humble. That is a great team win on the road. And you guys deserve it, man. You kept fighting. You kept believing. A lot of people said we shouldn't be in the playoffs. Well, guess what? We're going to go another week.
Hey, we've been exercising demons all year. It's the first playoff win on the road for the New York Jets in over 10 years, fellas. Congratulations, boys. We deserve it.
Over the Jets, baby, on 3. 1, 2, 3.
And the home of the Jets!
It wasn't classic football, but it was playoff theater at its best. It was flawed, but compelling. It was an evening when the pain of losing was as striking as the joy of winning. The unreal season of the San Diego Chargers, from 4-12 to 12-4 in 1 year, came to such an abrupt end that most of the players looked more stunned than saddened. For the New York Jets, it was a redeeming victory that at times showed how good they could be, then showed how far from greatness they remained. After the game, in the Jets locker room, there were no long, loud speeches, just a few words from Coach Edwards. Words weren't needed. Actions had spoken their piece.